Hi everyone and welcome to Anura Tarot again. Today's reading is going to be about how you can or will get out of anxious feelings or help relieve your anxiety that you might be feeling right now. These are today's piles. Pile number 1 is the Cauldron. Pile number 2 is the Tree. And pile number 3 is the Wildflowers. I'm gonna leave them there for a little bit so that you can meditate on which one to choose. Remember that if you feel attracted to more than one pile, you can choose and see more than one reading. So now that you have meditated on which card to pick, I will see you in your reading. Hi, pile number 1. If you chose the Cauldron, this is going to be the shuffling part of your reading. If you want to go straight to the reading, that is in the next section of this video. So I'm going to choose 3 tarot cards for you. And 3 tarot cards that are going to be explanatory for the last 3 that we picked. Now I'm going to pick 2 of the Fairies Oracle deck. This is a Colombian deck and it's in Spanish, and it has 1 fairy per each card. And now I'm going to pick 2 cards from the Literary Witches Oracle. This oracle shows women who are writers and some objects or animals that are present in their books or in their novels or their poems. So I'm going to pick another one. We have the wolf and the house. Okay, so pile 1, your reading is going to be in the next section of this video. See you then. Hi, pile number 1. If you chose the Cauldron, this is going to be a reading, and we're going to be discussing how you can or will get out of some anxious feelings that you might be having. So we have the 8 of Wands, we have Temperance, we have the Queen of Swords in reverse, the Tower in reverse, we have the Moon in reverse, the 7 of Cups in reverse, the Lovers in reverse, and the 9 of Swords in reverse. So pile number 1, I'm feeling that you're being a little bit impatient and that maybe there's some situation, it seems like maybe you're a living situation that is making you very anxious. I think your anxiety comes from a feeling of wanting things to change fast, and things are taking a little slow for you maybe right now. You have the Moon in the reverse, which shows that you might be afraid about something, but you can't do anything about it just yet. And the 7 of Cups in reverse shows me that maybe you don't have as many choices to pick from, and this is making you very anxious. And also the Queen of Swords shows me that maybe you're lacking some independence right now in your life. So what I'm feeling is maybe you are being impatient about your living situation. You want this situation to change very quickly, and maybe with the Tower here in the reverse, you had a shift of mind that happened very, very soon, and that you're not being able to do anything about it because maybe this is hard for you to get out of. Maybe you don't have as many choices as to where to go. This might not only be about your living situation, it might be just about your work or a relationship, your relationship with family, maybe with your parents, but what I'm feeling is your anxiety is stemming from a lack of independence and a lack of maybe many opportunities to choose from. What I'm seeing is maybe the way that you're going to get out of this anxiety is to balance your anxious feelings with feelings of calmness. I know this is hard to believe, but when we are anxious, sometimes we start losing balance and we start doing things out of fear. Maybe that's what you're doing with the moon card. And anxiety is just your body telling you that something or a situation is not safe. So while it's very important to listen to these thoughts and to pay attention to what your body is saying, it is also important that you tell your body that it is okay and that the situation is not life-threatening and that you're going to survive it. Unless, of course, if this is a life-threatening situation or if you feel you're not safe, well, then things change. But here in this reading, I'm talking about situations that maybe they're uncomfortable and you don't want them to be that way, but maybe you don't have as many choices right now to choose from and to go somewhere else. Now we're gonna see the fairies that are going to advise you. This is the Fairies Oracle, and it's a Colombian deck, and it has one fairy per each card. So we're gonna see which fairies are accompanying you right now. You have the Fairy of Patience, which says that patience is not passive waiting, but accepting that the process is necessary to achieve your dreams and goals. And we have Fairy of Tranquility or Calmness, and this fairy is saying you have to keep calm and that everything is going to be okay. So it seems to me that maybe you're trying to control or change a situation that might not be able to be changed right now. I know it's very hard when we are feeling anxious about something that we cannot change, but it seems to me that you're not having the independence that you want right now, but you are not still able to achieve that independence for yourself. So I think what the fairies and the cards are saying, and I know this is hard to hear, but you have to sit with your anxiety for a little bit. That means that you're not going to want to change it right now. You're not going to want to make it disappear, because this will only make you anxious about being anxious. So your anxiety is a precious feeling that is telling you when something isn't safe. So this is the most protective of our feelings. What the cards are advising you to do is just open the door to anxiety and feel it in your body. Just feel how the anxiety feels in your stomach, how it feels in your hands, how it feels in your head, and just sit with it and say, okay, anxiety, you're welcome here. You can be here because you're protecting me. You don't have to be here because we are very safe and nothing wrong is happening to us. But if you want to be here for a little bit, then just stay here in my stomach for a little bit and then just go away. And it will slowly start to go away. And here in the Literary Witches Oracle, these cards have both objects that are present in some books and novels and poems, and we also have the writers, who are all women, who have written these books and poems. So we have the wolf and we have the house. So yeah, I think this anxiety is coming from your living situation or from the people who you live with or the community that is around you that you didn't choose but that you were maybe born into, or which is surrounding your context. And I think what the fairies and these cards are saying is, okay, you maybe right now cannot change where you live at or who your family is, who your pack is, but you have to radically accept it. This means not that you're going to accept harmful behavior or that you're going to accept things that hurt you, but that you are going to just accept that maybe you can't change this right now. Maybe this anxiety is coming from a feeling of urgency, that you have to change this right now, that you can't stand this anymore, and this is causing you to be very anxious. But maybe just taking the time to think, okay, if I want to get out of this situation, I have to do it smartly. And maybe if I want to change where I live, or I want to change cities, or I want to change maybe cut contact with some family members, I have to be independent first, and I have to do it with a plan. And this is all causing you anxiety because you want it to be quick. I think with this Eight of Wands that shows me quick movement, you want it to be very quick, but maybe it's not going to be as quick as your anxiety is telling you it has to be. And this is because your anxiety feels that you are in a life-threatening situation, because that's what stress means in the body, right? When you're being chased by wolves, your body is saying we have to get out of this as fast as we can. But maybe the situation is not as urgent. Maybe your life is not at risk. If it is, please just ignore every single advice I'm giving here and seek help. But if it's not, and if it's just uncomfortable and unhealthy for you, maybe just plan through and sit with that anxiety and tell it, okay, this is uncomfortable, but we are okay. So yeah, pile 1, this was your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like this video and subscribe to my channel, since it helps my channel grow. And I hope to see you in a new reading soon. Adios. Okay, I'm sorry, I live in a very crowded area near a park, so we have a lot of noise sometimes. But what I was saying is, you decided to take this decision because you love yourself, and that is proof that you love yourself, and you made justice because you didn't deserve to be in the situation that you were at. You deserve something so much better, and you cutting this out of your life is proof that you love yourself. So pile number 2, this was your reading. I think the conclusion here is just remind yourself, every time you're feeling anxious and you're feeling you want to go back to the situation, just remind yourself that you did this because you love yourself. Repeat this and just be patient, because that anxiety is going to slowly start to pass through. Accept it, and accept that it's a physical process in your body more than just thoughts. These thoughts are just a result of these chemicals and these states, nervous states within your body. And they do not mean that these thoughts are true. So if you're thinking, I have to go back to this is the only good thing that happened to me, this is the best thing I'm gonna get in my life, those thoughts might be not true. Those thoughts might be just the result of chemical processes within your brain that are telling you to go back, because if you do not go back, you're not going to survive. But this is just a physical process in your body that will slowly start to pass. Just accept them. Tell them, thank them for being there to protect you, and tell them very politely that they are not true and that you don't have to believe them. You already did the hard thing, that was letting go. And now, I know it seems hard to just wait and accept the things that are coming, but just know that you did this, or the universe did this for you, because it's what's best and because you love yourself. So thank you, pile number 2, for being here. If you like this video, please like it. And please subscribe to my channel, because it helps it grow. And I will see you in a new reading. Adios. Hi, pile number 2. If you chose the 3, this is going to be the shuffling part of your reading. If you want to go straight to your reading, you will find it in the next section of this video. So I'm going to pick 3 tarot cards for you. Okay, that's 2. And another one, please. Okay. And we're gonna pick 3 cards that are gonna be explanatory for the past 3. Okay, we have a lot here. I'm gonna just pick the first one. Maybe all of them are saying something important, so I'm gonna leave them there. And that's it. And now I'm going to pick 2 fairies from this Fairies oracle deck. This is a Colombian oracle deck, so the cards are in Spanish, but I'm going to be translating them. These cards have a fairy. Each one of them has a different fairy, so we're going to see which fairies are here with you. We're going to just pick 2 or as many as want to come out. Okay. And we're gonna pick 2 cards from the Literary Witches Oracle. This oracle has women who are writers, and also objects or animals that are present in their books or in their poems. And these are going to be your cards, pile number 2. The next part of this video is going to be your reading and advice. Hi, pile number 2. If you chose the 3, this is going to be your reading and advice on how you can or will get rid or relieve anxious feelings. So I'm gonna read your tarot first. You have the 9 of Swords, you have the Moon, you have the 8 of Cups, and we had a lot of cards come in the explanatory part. We have the 9 of Pentacles. I'm going to put it here so you can see it. We have the 5 of Cups. We have the Ace of Swords. We have the 6 of Cups. And we have the 9 of Wands in reverse. So what I'm seeing here, pile number 2, is that maybe you let go of something that was hurting you. We have the 8 of Cups here, which is a card about letting go. And we have the 6 of Cups, which is a card that talks about the past. So it seems to me here that this anxiety is stemming from having to let something go that maybe you loved, or maybe something that was important to you. The 9 of Wands here, I'm gonna put it the other way around so you can see the drawing. It shows this guy is having to choose between holding on to something, holding on to achieving this glass of water, and letting go. And since it's in the reverse, it tells me that either you already let go or you're in the process of letting something go. And that, of course, is making you feel sad and making you feel grief. Maybe this anxiety is unresolved grief about the situation that you had to let go. Grief does not only happen when someone you love dies or when someone you love is sick. It also comes when we have a breakup, when you lose your job, when you quit your job, when you change your living situation. And it seems to me that you are protecting yourself by taking this decision. Here in the 9 of Swords, you can see this little hedgehog is protecting this treasure, and this treasure is himself from this monster right here. So it seems to me that this anxiety is coming from having to let go of something that you didn't want to let go of, but you just had to, because maybe the situation was harmful for you. And you are also a little bit afraid here with the Moon about what's going to happen next. It seems to me that maybe you broke up with someone that wasn't good for you, or you quit a job that wasn't healthy, or maybe you changed your living situation because it wasn't healthy for you. And now this anxiety is coming from being afraid of what is going to happen, but also missing the situation that maybe was safe for you. Sometimes when we are in a situation in which our cortisol levels, which are the stress hormones, go up and down very quickly, this might cause some hormonal addictions to this situation, and you decided to cut it from your life, and maybe your body is craving that situation, not because it is healthy for you, but because the hormonal levels that you had in the situation were up and down, up and down. This happens a lot in relationships. When you trauma bond with someone, this means that you have very stressful moments, and you have peaks of stressful moments, and then you have very loving moments, and this creates a sense of addiction in your brain. So maybe this situation that you left you a little bit addicted to it, and this anxiety that you're feeling is craving that situation that was harmful. If this was a relationship and you let go of it, you have to know that you did it because you were protecting yourself, and you were protecting what you love and what you love about yourself and your dreams. And the fact that your anxiety is telling you to go back to it does not mean it's the right thing to do. It just means that your body is in a cycle of hormonal flows. What we have in the Knight of Pentacles here, this card is a little bit graphic, but if you look at it very literally, it shows value, these coins, value inside of you. It's very literal, but it's great. So of course this is something that everyone will tell you when you break up with someone or when you change a situation, that you have to love yourself and you have to find value inside yourself. But maybe this card is saying that too. It's saying you're very valuable from the inside out, and if you recognize how valuable you are, I know it's hard to do, to look in the mirror and just convince yourself that you're beautiful, convince yourself that you're capable, convince yourself that you deserve better. But I think what these cards are recommending is telling yourself every day that you took this decision because you love yourself, and that taking this decision is proof that you love yourself, because you took this decision, made this decision because you love yourself and you want to protect yourself, and you let go of something that was harming you because you love yourself. And if you tell yourself this, and I am convinced of this, it will start being better, because this anxiety is telling you go back, go back, go back to the situation, and you're just telling it, I'm not going back, because I took this decision because I love myself, and loving myself means that I have to be strict with this decision, and I have to be firm with this decision. I know this might not make your anxiety disappear, because I'm having a sense that maybe this anxiety is very chemical in your brain, but it will start getting better and better. Just don't succumb to the desire to maybe stalk this person online, or maybe try to communicate with them. Maybe you need some abstinence from this situation for a little bit, so that your brain can go back to normal. Now let's see what the fairies have for you. We have 3 fairies. Each of these cards has a different fairy that is gonna give different advice. So we have the green fairy. This fairy has been very present. If you haven't seen the video about how they feel about you, we have the green fairy in 2 of the readings, and this fairy was telling me that maybe there's a park, or maybe a farm, or somewhere green, where you found a lot of strength and a lot of magic within yourself, and that if you go back to this place, it might be maybe hurtful, because maybe you used to go there with this person, or in this situation. And the green fairy is saying, if you go back there, you will feel that strength and that magic, because that strength and that magic has all to do with you, and nothing to do with the other situation, nothing to do with the other person, nothing to do with the other thing that you left behind. So the green fairy is saying, please come back here, I miss you, and I miss sharing my magic with you. We also have the fairy of serenity. This one was in that reading too, and it's telling you not to try to control everything, just let it flow, because everything will pass. I know it's hard when you're feeling very anxious and people tell you, oh, just be calm, everything will go, everything will pass, time will heal all wounds. I know it's hard, but this fairy is saying, just wait until your brain balances the chemicals out. This situation, it might have cost you flows of hormones that are making you feel like you really crave the situation, but maybe you're not. Maybe the situation is just the stress and the cortisol in your brain made you feel like you need this situation to survive, and that's what's causing this anxiety. But this fairy is saying that's not the case. It's just the chemicals in your brain. I know it's hard just to sit through the chemicals in your brain, but remember to tell yourself, every time you're craving the situation, just tell yourself, I did this because I love myself, because I protect myself, because I am building the life that I want, and this situation is not the life that I want. And the last fairy I have is the fairy of clarity, and she's telling you to protect your principles and always express what you think and you feel. I think this fairy is saying that you don't have to go back to this situation or this person to speak your mind. I think you already made yourself clear, and this is a way of loving yourself, being clear and being loyal to how you feel and what you need from a situation, from a partner, from a job, or from something you left behind. You were clear in, this is not what I want, and you were clear not only to the other person and to yourself, but also to the universe. This is not what I want. This situation is not what I want. And this is very loving of you. It is very loving to maybe receive a gift, but it doesn't fit you. The shoes that you were given don't fit you, and you're saying, I'm sorry, this doesn't fit me. These shoes I cannot wear because they don't fit me. So now we're gonna pick 2 cards from the Literary Witches Oracle. This oracle has women who are writers and some animals or objects that are in their books. And we have here the peacock, and we have Audre Lorde with Justice. If you haven't read Audre Lorde's poetry, please go ahead. She's a black feminist, and she's also a lesbian. So if any of those things interest you, her poetry is beautiful. And she's here with justice. So I think you made justice because you left a situation that was treating you unfairly, and now you're going to have your feathers attract so many good things in your life. You're going to be this peacock attracting so many good things, because you already told the universe and everyone, this is not what I'm going to accept into my life. This situation is not something I want, and so many good situations are going to come. you made justice by not allowing the situation around you because it was unfair to you, because you deserve so much love and so much respect that just leaving the situation is sorry, I have someone screaming in my window, so I'm going to pause for a little bit and then come back. Hi, pal number 3. If you chose the Wildflowers, this is going to be the shuffling part of your reading. If you want to go straight to your reading, it's in the next section of this video. So I'm going to choose 3 tarot cards for you. That's 2. One more, please. That's it. And I'm going to choose 3 more that are going to be explanatory of these 3. Okay. And that's it. Okay. Now I'm going to pick 2 of the Fairies Oracle deck. This is a Colombian oracle, so it's in Spanish, but I'm going to be translating, and each of these cards has a different fairy that is going to give you advice and that is with you in this situation. Okay, and now I'm going to pick 2 of the Literary Witches Oracle. This oracle has women who are writers and some of the novels, poems and books that they have written represented in objects or animals. We have 4 here, so maybe the Literary Witches wanted to tell you some things. So yeah, pal number 3, I will see you in your reading. Hi, pal number 3. If you chose the Wildflowers, this is going to be your reading, and we're going to talk about how you can or will get out of those anxious feelings that you're having. So we have the 2 of Wands. This was the other way around since the shuffling part. We have the Hierophant in the reverse. We have the 4 of Swords in reverse. We have the 2 of Pentacles. We have the Knight of Cups. And we have the Magician in the reverse. So it seems to me, pal number 3, that this anxiety that you're feeling is coming from a new project that you're having. Maybe you started working somewhere new, maybe you started college, or maybe you have been in college for a while but are recently having trouble with stress and anxiety. We have the 4 of Swords here in the reverse, which is a card that indicates burnout. So I think what this means is 2 things. First, you are having trouble trusting an authority figure. Maybe this is a teacher, maybe this is a boss, and this person is making you feel not worthy of rest, or not worthy of or they're not recognizing your hard work. And we also have the Magician in the reverse. The Magician, if you see it very clearly, he has this table, and on top of the table he has all of these magical objects with which he's going to create a lot of beautiful things. But since it's in the reverse, maybe this Magician is lacking trust in himself, and this might be stemming from this burnout and this stress and this authority figure maybe not being fair to you, and maybe not being as supportive of you as they should be. If this is a mentor, if this is maybe someone who is your boss or an authority figure, maybe you're feeling this stress because this person is putting a lot of pressure in yourself. And the 2 of Pentacles here shows me this card is about maybe juggling, like jugglers with a lot of balls, and they have a lot of things to juggle. Maybe you're having to juggle a lot of things and you're not having enough time to do them as you would want them to, as perfectly as you would want to do them. So I think you're a little bit burned out and you are anxious because of this new situation, or maybe it's not new, but maybe these feelings are new. And I think this might be work related, or university related, or school related. And I think you're feeling burned out and you're feeling incapable. Maybe you have a little bit of imposter syndrome too, because this person or this group of people are not making you feel as appreciated and as valued as you are. So we also have the Knight of Cups, which is a card that indicates that you have a lot of feelings, and that these feelings are running loose, and you're trying to stop them because you feel like having these feelings makes you unworthy of being in that place. Maybe you feel other people in this workplace do not feel this way, this frustration is only mine, other people can manage their emotions better than I can, maybe you are afraid of showing emotion in the workplace, but these feelings are really wanting to run loose, because you see this horse is trapped inside this little tiny cup that is trying to contain them, but they are huge. So maybe you're trying to control these feelings, and this is causing a lot more anxiety because you're trying to not feel things that you're feeling, and you're judging yourself for feeling these things. What's behind trying to repress your emotions is judging yourself for having them, and maybe this is causing more anxiety. Some people feel anxious about feeling anxious because they feel they shouldn't feel anxious, or they just want the anxiety to go away. But I think it's very normal for you to have these big feelings if you're in a situation where you do not feel valued and you do not feel like you're capable of doing the things that you're asked to do. So we're gonna see two fairies that are gonna give you advice. Each one of these cards has a different fairy, and this is in Spanish because this is a Colombian deck, so I'm going to translate. We have the Fairy of Power. It has that you have to make use of your capacities and be resilient. And you have the Fairy of Discipline. Once you have an objective, you have to work constantly to achieve your goal. So I think pile number 3, these fairies are saying you are capable of everything you are asked to do, and maybe procrastination or maybe not doing things as perfectly is just a way to protect yourself from this person who is being maybe mean, or maybe they're not being supportive, and you're trying to do things in a small way, in a way that won't make a lot of noise, in a way that will not they will not have an opportunity to belittle you. But I think what these fairies are saying is you have all the power that you need to make things as perfectly as you want. And if you're disciplined, and if you put yourself into it, and you start learning what you have to learn, and if you just use all your capacities, you are going to make things better. I know this might not help with your anxiety right now. Maybe you just want the card to tell you to quit the situation, or to just run away, because maybe that's what anxiety is telling you to do. This is unsafe, and we shouldn't be here, and you're not good enough for this. That's the things that anxiety is babbling about, right? You're not good enough, let's go, we're not meant to be here, blah 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 blah. But you have to tell your anxiety, thank you so much for protecting me, thank you so much for trying to keep me safe, but I am safe because this is the place I want to be. This is the place I have to be to learn everything that I have to learn for the life that I dream about. So maybe you're in this job or in this career because you have a dream about your life, and you're having doubts about that because this person is belittling you and telling you you're not meant for it. And you have to say, that's not right, that's not true. I am meant for this life because this is the life that I planned for myself, and I have all the capacity and all the power to be here, so I'm going to. And if I have to be disciplined to learn everything that I have to learn from this situation, I will do it. And I don't care about what you say about me, because I am capable, and I know that I have to be here. So pile number 3. Now we're gonna see what the literary witches oracle have to say to you. These have women who are writers, and also objects or animals that are in their books. We have the skull, we have the lantern, we have Flannery O'Connor with humanity, and we have the glove. So I think pile number 3, the situation that you're at and that is making you feel anxious has a lot to do with knowledge. The skull here, it reminds me of maybe medical school, or maybe something to do with science or the humanities even. And the lantern just shows the way, it paths the way, right? You use the lantern to light yourself in times of darkness. And I think this is saying, if you do not have the knowledge that you need, you will find it, because you have the lantern, and the lantern is curiosity of learning. You will find it, and if you already have it, you will light the way for others. And you have the glove, which means being careful and thorough with things. You use gloves when you want to protect something. If you're maybe a nurse or a doctor, you use gloves to protect your patient. If you're treating antiques and all the things that are very fragile, you use gloves not to damage them. And I think this is saying you are very thorough with your things, and that has made you a little bit perfectionistic. And since this person or this group of people are telling you you're not doing things perfectly, you're starting to lose your motivation. But that is just not true. You're just so thorough with everything that you try to make everything perfect. But you still have things to learn, so you have to be a little bit kinder to yourself and do not believe in the lies that these people are telling you. You do deserve to be where you are. You do deserve to be learning what you're learning, because this is what humanity needs. Maybe I think I'm having the feeling that you might be in a medical field, or maybe in a field that is going to help so many people. And if you give up in this dream that you had, if you give up because you think you're not good enough, humanity is going to lose a very important asset, that is you. So I think pile number 3, this anxiety is coming from that feeling of not being enough, but that feeling of not being enough is rooted in things that are not true. You're learning, you're doing things in the best way you can, and I'm sure, because this card is telling me you're very thorough and you're very perfectionistic. So do not trust these people that are just lying to you and telling you you didn't do things right, you have to do things better, you have to learn, you're not meant to be in that place. Maybe this person is just not as supportive, and your brain is filling in the blanks with these things that are just not true. One thing about anxiety is that it tells us lies all the time, because it has to convince us that we're not safe. So the body is just feeling unsafe, and your anxiety is just trying to make up lies to make you get out of that situation as soon as possible. But those thoughts are not true, mostly all the time. They are just ways in which the body is trying to protect itself from a perceived threat. And this situation is threatening, or it feels threatening, because it's big, it's learning, it's different, it's a challenge. And if you want to build the life that you're trying to build from this situation, then you can tell your anxiety, it's okay, thank you so much for protecting me, but what you're telling me is just not true. I am capable, I am meant to be here, and I'm not going to believe in these lies that you and these unsupportive people are telling me. So pile number 3, this was your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like this video and please subscribe to my channel, because it helps it grow. I hope to see you in a new reading soon. Adios.